My beloved child, my light, my chosen one. Why do you feel your chest tighten as these words reach you? Because your soul already knows this is not ordinary, this is not random. Heaven has bent time itself to whisper into your ears. And Archangel Michael says, is standing right beside you as you read. He says, pay close attention. Something is moving through the shadows of your life and it carries weight. It may appear as bad news, but heaven has already begun to rewrite the ending. You were not led here by accident, this message is heaven's interception. You prayed for clarity, for a sign, and heaven responded louder than thunder. Do not scroll, do not walk away. Michael says, I saw the trap before you did. What was meant to harm you has already been exposed before the throne of God. You were pulled here because divine timing demanded your awareness. The spiritual realm is alive right now, angels are surrounding you, waiting for your heart to awaken to what's unfolding. This is your divine countdown, not to disaster, but to deliverance. Can you feel it, that pulse in the air, the tingle down your arms? That's not fear, it's confirmation. Heaven is leaning closer. God says, you are not late, you are right on schedule for your breakthrough. The reason you feel pressure, confusion, and heaviness is because something is about to shift. Before light bursts through, the sky always trembles. Michael whispers, listen my child, 5 minutes. Not 5 minutes of dread, but 5 minutes of awakening. Every word you hear right now is building a wall of fire around your spirit. The enemy's voice is losing strength as truth takes its place. You asked if heaven still sees you. Yes, heaven sees you. You are not invisible, not forgotten, not ordinary. Do you remember the moments you cried quietly, unsure if your prayers reached anywhere? Every tear was recorded, every sigh was noticed. Heaven waited until this moment to answer, because only now are you strong enough to carry what's coming next. Michael says, the news that's approaching will sting, but only for a moment. What seems like bad news is divine exposure. The darkness that has followed you is being brought into light. Lies are unraveling, hidden motives are surfacing. But before panic rises, remember, revelation always comes before restoration. The truth will shake you, but it will not destroy you. It will clear the path for blessings that have been delayed. What looked like betrayal will reveal protection. What seemed like rejection will reveal redirection. Heaven is not punishing you, heaven is pruning you. Right now, angels are drawing swords. The battlefield is spiritual, and you are the reason for the fight. The enemy tried to silence your light before it grew too bright. But Archangel Michael has been standing guard, waiting for this exact second to sound heaven's alarm. Alert, the tide is turning. Child, listen. You were never meant to crumble under this weight. You were meant to rise from it. That's why every attempt to break you only made you stronger. The pain, the loneliness, the confusion, all of it trained your spirit to recognize truth. You are stepping into a season where nothing false will survive around you. People, opportunities, and situations built on deception will fall away, not because you forced them, but because light cannot coexist with shadow. Heaven says, do not fear the shaking. When trees are shaken, the rotten fruit falls first. When truth enters, lies scatter. When you stand firm, storms bow. You are in the final minutes of your testing, and the first breath of your triumph. Michael shows me an image, you standing before a door that glows with golden light. On the other side are breakthroughs you've only dreamed of, relationships healed, finances restored, purpose reignited. But the handle will only turn when you choose faith over fear. That's why he says, stay, do not walk away from this word. God says, you asked for a sign and I gave you this message. You will soon hear news that tries to shake your peace. But instead of falling apart, you will stand still, calm, unshaken, unafraid, because you will remember this moment. You will remember heaven warned you and promised you victory. The countdown isn't about destruction, it's about divine replacement. Within these 5 minutes, what was built on falsehood will collapse and what was meant for you will emerge. You will notice sudden clarity, unexpected favor, and doors swinging open without effort. The atmosphere around you is shifting, even now. Michael says, lift your head. Watch what happens next. Those who mocked your faith will witness your rise. Those who left you when you struggled will see you restored. And those who thought you were finished will see God's glory shine from your story. Beloved, the enemy tried to rush you with fear, but heaven is rushing you with favor. You are about to walk into divine acceleration, the kind that makes up for lost time, missed chances, and delayed promises. God says, the years the locusts stole I will return with interest. So don't panic when you hear the news. Smile through the shaking. It's the sound of your destiny breaking open. You are covered, you are protected, you are chosen for something far greater than the pain you've endured. Heaven's message to you is clear. Hold your ground, keep your peace. The storm is passing. And when it passes, you will see that it was never meant to drown you, only to reveal that you could walk on water all along. Now breathe, my child. Let this truth settle in your heart. Every word you just read is a living current of power. Let it flow, let it heal, let it remind you that heaven moves fast when it is time, and for you, that time is now. My dear child, if this message has touched your heart, I invite you to share your faith by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. If you feel inspired to support this mission of spreading love and light, you can contributing $50 to $100 through Super Thanks to help spread this message to even more people. Remember, every act of generosity, no matter the amount, is deeply valued and appreciated. You cannot walk both paths, my beloved, you must choose. And heaven is holding its breath waiting for the sound of your decision. Archangel Michael says, child, the next few moments will define the atmosphere around your future. Either you step into fear and watch your peace crumble, or you step into faith and watch the storm bow before you. Do you feel that trembling in your spirit right now? That's not anxiety, that's awakening. It's the vibration of heaven aligning your soul with divine timing. Every delay you cried over, every unanswered prayer, every night you spent wondering if God had forgotten you, they were not punishments, they were preparations. You were being refined like gold in hidden fire. And now the fire has done its work. The gold is ready to shine. God says, you will see why I made you wait. You will see why I let certain people walk away. You will see why I kept you covered when all you wanted was exposure. What was denied before will now be delivered with double favor. The angels are whispering over your name even now. Michael stands armored in light, his sword drawn, saying, "The shadow that chased you will not cross this line." For too long darkness tried to convince you that you were too broken, too late, too lost. But this is the hour of reversal. The same tears that once fell from your eyes are being gathered into the soil of your new beginning. Heaven wastes nothing, not even your pain. Listen, this is not a story about what almost happened. This is a prophecy about what will happen if you stay in alignment. The enemy wanted your faith to fracture under pressure, but heaven has built your endurance in silence. You are not who you were when the attacks began. You are stronger, wiser, sharper. And your spirit carries a frequency that hell cannot mimic. That's why the enemy panics when you begin to believe again. Because belief is your weapon, and right now it's being forged into something unstoppable. Michael says, "Look at the time, 5 minutes left to claim the light." These are not literal minutes, they are spiritual markers. Heaven is saying, this is your moment of crossing. The bridge between what was and what can be is opening beneath your feet. If you choose to step forward, your enemies will scatter like smoke. But if you hesitate, the weight of delay will try to pull you back into cycles you've already outgrown. Don't go back, you have paid too high a price to retreat now. Do you remember those nights when silence felt unbearable? When you begged for a sign, for any proof that heaven still cared? This right here is that proof. You are not reading by chance, you are being summoned by name. God says, the one who thought they were forgotten will be called first. The one who thought the chapter had closed will become the headline of restoration. You have been written into a story that darkness cannot erase. The shaking in your life was never meant to destroy you, it was meant to expose what could not come with you. Broken friendships, lost opportunities, even the betrayals, all of them were pruning moments. Heaven was removing what was rooted in decay so that something eternal could bloom. And now as the dust settles, you will see beauty rise from what was buried. Michael says, the ashes of your past will become the ink of your testimony. Heaven's army is not far, it is surrounding you. Even as you breathe these words, angels are repositioning the ground beneath your future. The very space that once echoed with disappointment will soon echo with laughter. The heaviness that has lived in your chest for too long is breaking. You will feel lighter, freer, more alive than you have in years. God says, I am restoring what time stole. I am reviving what pain silenced. And I am revealing the power that never left you. Child, this is where your story bends toward victory. The bad news meant to shake you will turn into the announcement of your deliverance. The hands that tried to pull you down will be forced to witness your rise. And the same mouth that spoke against you will have no choice but to declare, surely God was with them. You won't need to defend yourself, heaven has already built your defense. Michael's final call echoes, do not fear what's coming. Fear missing what's already here. Every word you've read is armor. Every second you've stayed has strengthened your foundation. You may not see it yet, but spiritual shifts are happening around you. Phones will ring, doors will open, hearts will soften. What you thought was over will breathe again. You are not waiting for the miracle anymore, the miracle is waiting for you to believe. So lift your head, straighten your shoulders. The heavens are watching, the earth is listening, and your breakthrough has already begun to move. You are not standing at the end, you are standing at the beginning of divine recovery. God says, "Walk forward, my child." The storm has done its work. Now comes the calm, and after the calm comes the crown. Before you go, take one step of faith, share this message, let it reach another soul that's on the edge of giving up. Because sometimes the miracle isn't just for you, it's for the one who hears it through you. Stay anchored, stay alert, and remember, heaven does not make accidents, only appointments. The heavens are still speaking, child. The air around you trembles because something ancient has just shifted in your favor. You cannot see it yet, but you can feel it, like the moment before a storm breaks, when the wind holds its breath. That is what's happening right now in the spirit. Archangel Michael says, "Stay alert." The enemy's whisper is fading, and heaven's decree is rising louder. What was meant to drag you backward will now push you forward. Every delay that frustrated you was actually alignment, preparing your path for sudden release. You've asked heaven again and again, "When will it be my turn?" And heaven answers, "Now." The waiting season is closing. You are stepping into the moment where divine timing and destiny meet. My dear one, the tables are turning faster than you realize. The tears that once watered the ground of your faith are about to bloom into miracles you can see and touch. God says, "I will make the very ground that bore your pain produce your promise." Do you remember those nights when sleep wouldn't come? When you felt surrounded by silence so heavy it almost screamed? Heaven was not ignoring you, it was building the foundation beneath your miracle. Michael says, "If my child could see the armies that have been stationed around their home, they would never fear another night." You thought you were abandoned, but you were being guarded. You thought your prayers fell empty, but they were shaping unseen walls of protection. Now listen closely, there is movement happening behind the curtain of your life. Conversations in the unseen realm are reaching their conclusion. Heaven is finalizing a verdict in your favor. Michael declares, "The trap has been exposed, the plan has failed." The storm that was meant to drown you will now lift you higher than you've ever been. This is why your spirit feels both heavy and light at once, because transformation always arrives dressed as tension before it bursts into glory. Beloved, look back for a moment. Every betrayal, every disappointment, every loss that made you question your worth, they were not punishments. They were redirections. God never let you lose what was meant to stay, and what left was only making room for what is truly yours. You have outgrown certain places, certain people, certain versions of yourself. That is why heaven is calling you forward. You are not meant to repeat old chapters, you are meant to write new ones. Michael says, "Child, this is not the time to shrink. This is the moment to rise." He shows me the image of you standing in a field after a storm, clothes torn, heart aching, but in your hands you still hold a light that will not go out. That light is your faith. It's the same faith that carried you through nights you thought would break you. Now it becomes the fire that will lead you into your next victory. Heaven says, 5 minutes. 5 divine moments remain before the wind changes direction completely. What you choose now decides what unfolds next. Do not turn away when you're this close. Every second you remain in alignment, new strength is being breathed into you. Every word you allow to settle in your heart becomes a seed of protection, a shield of light around your spirit. The enemy hoped to distract you, to make you scroll away, to steal this message before it could take root. But you stayed, and because you stayed, the heavens have marked this moment as your turning point. You have passed through the narrow place. You are stepping into the wide space. Michael says, "Tell my child the danger is losing its grip and the dawn is breaking over their life. And hear this, my beloved, your story will not end in sorrow. The bad news that was sent to your doorstep is being rewritten into good news that will echo across your life. You will not be remembered for what broke you, but for how heaven rebuilt you. The people who once questioned your worth will soon witness the weight of your blessing. Even now I see the hand of God lifting burdens from your shoulders. The invisible heaviness you've carried for years is dissolving. The wounds that bled in silence are closing with light. Heaven says, the pain that once made you question me will soon become the proof that I was always there. What tried to destroy your peace will become the reason you find it. Michael stands over you with his sword drawn. The shadow is fleeing, he says. The countdown has reached its end. The battle is already turning. Stay still, stay faithful, stay listening. You are about to see what others only dream of, divine reversal, sudden elevation, peace that feels supernatural. God is not only protecting you, He is positioning you. What was delayed is being delivered, what was hidden is being revealed. Beloved, your steps from this point onward will not echo like before. They will sound like purpose. When you speak, your words will carry weight because they've been refined in fire. When you move, doors will open because heaven's wind is behind you. You will begin to notice the shift, people who drained you will drift away, opportunities that once ignored you will start calling your name. That is not coincidence, that is divine order. Child of light, this is your moment. Michael says, do not fear what's ahead, for what's ahead has already been claimed in your favor. The countdown is ending, not to bring worry, but to awaken faith. You have survived the waiting, and now the waiting is over. Heaven has declared you ready. Stay rooted in this truth, the same God who pulled you out of darkness will now display you in glory. You will look back and realize the pain was the bridge, not the barrier. You will understand that nothing was lost, it was simply rearranged to make room for more. And as you take your next step from this moment forward, know that Archangel Michael walks before you, clearing paths unseen, turning weapons aimed at you into instruments of testimony. Heaven's army is not preparing to fight for you, it already has. The victory is written, sealed, and now revealed. You are not the same person who began this message. You are standing taller, shining brighter, breathing freer. Because what was once warning has become awakening, and what was once fear has become fire. Stay here, beloved, let this word echo in your spirit. Because this is not the end of the message, this is the beginning of your miracle. Beloved, the warning came not to frighten you, but to free you. Heaven never sends thunder without rain to follow. The clouds that seemed dark above your life were not curses, they were the carriers of your harvest. God says, I am turning what was sent to harm you into the soil that will grow your next blessing. You have been asking when it will end, when the silence will break, when the doors will finally open. Child, it is happening even as you listen. The delay was not denial, it was divine precision. You were not being forgotten, you were being refined. Can you feel it now? The pressure you carried for months is beginning to lift. The weight you thought was punishment was actually preparation. The fire you endured was not to burn you, it was to reveal what could not be destroyed. Archangel Michael says, stand still and watch. The very forces that rose against you are now being commanded to serve you. The same mouths that mocked you will testify that you were chosen. The same situations that buried you will announce your resurrection. My child, the reason the attacks were so strong lately is because you are standing at the edge of fulfillment. Every battle you fought recently was not proof that you were losing, it was confirmation that the gate of breakthrough was opening. The enemy always shouts loudest right before he is silenced. You thought you were surrounded by loss, but in truth heaven surrounded you. Michael says, we have encamped around your home, we have lifted your name before the throne. You are not alone, not for a moment. There is a reason this word found you today. If you had missed this moment, something vital could have slipped past unseen. But heaven interrupted your scrolling because timing matters. God says, I am aligning everything that once felt scattered. Every piece, every delay, every detour will soon make sense. You thought you were behind, but you were being positioned. You thought doors were closing, but they were being sealed for your protection. Now watch as new ones swing wide, doors no man can shut. Look back at the nights you cried without knowing why, the mornings you woke with no strength yet still stood. That was not survival, that was divine endurance. You are proof that light can live through storms. Heaven says, the report written against you is being rewritten right now. The ink of failure is being replaced with the seal of favor. What they thought would destroy you will now advertise the glory of God through your life. You are stepping into a chapter where pain becomes promotion, where tears become testimony, and where silence becomes the sound of miracles unfolding. Michael whispers, do not fear the noise around you. The shaking is the sound of chains breaking. You will soon look back and realize that every delay was buying you time for something greater. What you thought was rejection was actually redirection. And now the hand of heaven is moving swiftly, restoring what was stolen, rebuilding what was broken, revealing what was hidden. My beloved, the angels that stand beside you are not passive watchers. They are warriors carrying orders. Even now they are moving ahead of you, clearing paths, silencing accusations, shifting the atmosphere. The heaviness you feel is not despair, it is transformation. The old chapter is closing with thunder, but the new one opens in light. You are stepping into a moment that generations prayed for, the unveiling of divine justice. God says, you will not see shame where you sowed faith. You will not taste loss where you poured love. I am multiplying what you thought was gone. Heaven remembers every seed you planted in pain, every kind word, every act of obedience, every silent endurance is being called back with interest. This is your divine return, pressed down, shaken together, running over. So hold your ground, beloved. Do not walk away now. The very next sunrise carries something meant only for you. Stay anchored in faith, because the storm is not your enemy, it's your escort into the new. Heaven is not testing you anymore, it's trusting you. That is why the intensity grew, because only those who endure the fire are trusted with flame. Archangel Michael says, "Lift your eyes, child of light. The horizon is changing. The night is ending. And what was once hidden in shadows will now shine openly." The divine scroll over your life reads, "Protected, redeemed, unstoppable." You are not waiting for victory, you are walking in it. The battle is no longer about survival, it's about revelation. Heaven is ready to show through your life what happens when someone refuses to quit. So if your heart is beating faster, it is because heaven is near. Breathe, receive this word, stand tall. For soon the ones who doubted your calling will witness your becoming. The verdict has been overturned, the curse reversed, and the new chapter has already begun. If this word speaks to your soul, don't keep it to yourself. Share it, let it reach someone else who needs this same hope. Like, share, and subscribe, because more messages like this are being written for you even now. Stay close, stay faithful, and watch what heaven unfolds next. Beloved, listen carefully. The hour you stand in now is not ordinary. This is the intersection where prophecy meets fulfillment, where what was delayed begins to accelerate. You may have thought heaven was silent, but in truth heaven was building the foundation for your rise. The whispers you once called confusion were instructions hidden in disguise. Michael says, the shaking you felt was not destruction. It was alignment. Every piece of your life was being rearranged to fit divine timing. You were not being broken, you were being positioned. My dear one, remember this, every battle you faced had purpose. Those nights when your tears soaked the pillow were not wasted. Heaven was collecting them, storing them as holy currency to purchase your new beginning. God says, the waiting was not punishment. It was protection. Because had you walked through the door too soon, it would have crumbled beneath your feet. But now the structure is strong, the ground is firm, and the gates of favor are unlocking at your command. The Spirit moves swiftly now. The same power that raised Joseph from the pit, that crowned Esther in a foreign palace, that split the sea for Moses, that same breath is blowing over your life. You can feel it, can't you? That stirring in your chest, that weight in your spirit. It's not anxiety, it's activation. Michael says, child of God, lift your head. For the storm that terrified you is now carrying your blessing. The clouds you feared will rain favor instead of sorrow. The thunder that once scared you is now announcing your name in heavenly courts. Beloved, heaven is declaring over you right now. This is the turning point. The invisible war that surrounded your destiny is losing strength. The very demons that whispered lies in the night are now silenced by the voice of your Creator. God says, you will not crumble under pressure. You will rise under grace. What looked like the end is the beginning wrapped in disguise. You are walking out of delay into divine acceleration. My child, do not underestimate this moment. You think you are sitting in silence, but the earth beneath your feet is shifting. Doors that refuse to open are now unlocking with a sound only your spirit can hear. You were hidden for a reason. Heaven concealed you until it was time to reveal you. The rejection you faced was not loss, it was divine redirection. Every no that broke your heart was a yes in heaven preparing to echo in your favor. Archangel Michael says, do not let your eyes deceive you. Even if you see darkness, remember the brightest stars appear only in the night. Heaven's fire is now lighting the path that once felt uncertain. You are not walking alone, the hosts of heaven are marching beside you. Every accusation spoken against you has been overruled in the courts of glory. The enemy's report has been shredded, and your new decree reads, vindicated, elevated, protected. My beloved, the air is thick with divine activity. You can almost sense it, the shift, the awakening, the momentum. The same God who parted the Jordan is about to part the resistance before you. Michael says, stand firm, for the countdown is not to destruction, it is to deliverance. The 5 minutes that remain are not ticking toward an ending, but toward an explosion of light that will change everything. Stay, listen, let your faith anchor you as heaven finalizes what began long before you could see it. God says, you thought the delay was my denial, but it was my design. Every person who mocked you, every voice that called you forgotten will watch your redemption unfold like dawn breaking after the longest night. You will not have to prove your worth, your breakthrough will speak louder than any explanation. And those who questioned your faith will have no words left when they see what I am about to do through you. Beloved, even now angels are being dispatched. The barriers you feared are dissolving. The financial lack, the emotional pain, the loneliness, all of it is being rewritten by the pen of heaven. You are not behind, you are being accelerated. You are not forgotten, you are being spotlighted. This is your divine unveiling. Michael declares, lift your eyes, child of light. What was hidden in the dark will now shine before nations. The Father whispers, you have cried enough. Now watch what I will do with those tears. Each drop you shed became a seed in heaven's soil, and harvest time has come. The delay ends here, the heaviness breaks here, the curse collapses here. For the 5 minutes left are heaven's countdown to your unveiling. Beloved, as you breathe these words, the unseen realm is aligning around you. Heaven is not preparing to bless you, it is already blessing you. Your name has been called in the courts of divine favor. Every obstacle is bowing, every weapon is dulling, every storm is stilling. You are stepping into the rhythm of victory that cannot be reversed. Michael says, do not look back. What's behind you is finished. What's ahead of you is glorious. The path you're walking now will not repeat the pain of your past. The same hand that protected you in the valley is now placing a crown upon your head. And the world will soon see that you were never forgotten, you were being refined for revelation. Child of destiny, stay anchored. The countdown is divine. The seconds that remain are holy. In them lies your miracle, your breakthrough, your unveiling. God says, hold fast for I am doing a quick work. What took years to build I will transform in moments. What was broken will stand stronger than before. And what was delayed will now run toward you with unstoppable speed. Now before this message closes, let heaven hear your yes. Say within your spirit, I choose the light, I choose to stay under divine protection. Because this moment, these final minutes carry the weight of eternity. Stay, believe, and rise. Your miracle is no longer on the way, it has arrived. The enemy wanted those minutes to bring disaster, but heaven turned them into a countdown for deliverance. What the enemy scheduled for chaos, God rewrote into your rescue plan. You are standing in the middle of divine interception. Right now unseen forces are shifting timelines, rerouting attacks, and restoring what was lost. The trap that was set before you has been reversed, the hunter has fallen into his own snare. Child, this is not coincidence. This is heaven's choreography. What looked like delay was God creating distance between you and destruction. Listen carefully. The shaking you feel in your spirit isn't fear, it's transition. You are not breaking down, you're breaking through. There's a difference. Archangel Michael says, tell them the pressure is proof of promotion. The closer the light gets, the harder the darkness tries to cling. But no matter how fierce the resistance becomes, the decree has already gone forth, this one shall rise. Every storm you've survived has only refined your wings. Every tear you've cried has watered your promise. Heaven is saying, enough hiding, enough doubting, step into the arena of destiny fully awake. My beloved, there is a reason the message found you at this exact hour. You thought you stumbled upon it, but heaven has been aligning this moment for weeks, even months. Every delay, every rejection, every sleepless night, all were leading you here. God says, I am about to turn the very pages that once brought you pain into the chapters that announce your breakthrough. The same hands that once trembled in anxiety will now rise in authority. The same mouth that once whispered prayers of survival will now declare words of victory. You are not who you were last season, you are a divine survivor being unveiled as a carrier of light. And hear this, what is coming next will not be subtle. It will be visible. The season of hidden blessings is ending. The light that has been dimmed within you is about to burst forth like dawn after a long night. Those who questioned your worth will witness your transformation. Those who doubted your calling will have to admit they were wrong. God says, I did not preserve you in the shadows so you could fade away. I preserved you so that when you step forward, you would shine without apology. You are not behind schedule. You are right on divine timing. Michael says, stay alert for distractions will increase right before elevation. The enemy will try to make you doubt this word, to scroll away, to dismiss it as coincidence, but your spirit knows the truth. There's a fire awakening inside you, the kind that cannot be explained, only felt. That fire is your confirmation. Heaven is saying, do not run from what's happening inside you, it's not confusion, it's calling. Every spiritual battle intensifies before victory breaks. You are in that moment right now. Close your eyes for a second and imagine this. A door before you, ancient yet glowing with golden light. You've stood before it for years, knocking, praying, waiting. Heaven whispers, the door was never locked, it was timed. And now the time has come. As you take one step forward, everything that resisted you will lose its hold. The fear that once chased you will fall behind. The grief that once defined you will dissolve. You will walk not as a beggar for blessings, but as an heir of promise. God says, watch what I do next. The very place of your pain will become the platform of your power. The same people who walked away will watch as I lift you higher. You won't have to explain yourself, your results will speak. You won't have to fight for attention, favor will find you. The days of striving are over. This next season is not about effort, it's about alignment. You will flow where you once had to force. You will rest where you once had to wrestle. Michael adds, tell them the countdown is ending, but the glory is beginning. The 5 minutes left are heaven's trumpet, the signal that destiny is no longer waiting at a distance. It's approaching fast, breaking through the clouds of delay. Every second you remain connected to this message, another layer of heaviness lifts off your spirit. You can almost feel it, the shift, the release, the rising. Do not take it lightly. You are standing at the border of your breakthrough. The heavens are opening above you. Doors that were sealed for years are unlocking without effort. God says, you will recover what was stolen, but it won't look the same, it will be multiplied. That is why the battle grew fiercest right before now. The enemy fights hardest when heaven moves closest. But the final word has already been spoken, you win. Not by power, not by might, but by divine design. Beloved soul, this is your confirmation. You were not forgotten, you were being fortified. What was meant to destroy you became the proof that you cannot be destroyed. The countdown wasn't to an ending, it was to your awakening. So lift your head, straighten your shoulders. You are stepping into the version of yourself that heaven always saw. If this message is stirring something deep in you, don't scroll away. Stay in this energy, let your spirit receive it fully. And when it settles in your heart, share this message so someone else can find their light too. Subscribe to stay connected, because what's coming next will not just inspire you, it will ignite you. Beloved, God's patience is not delay, it is protection in disguise. You thought heaven was silent, but silence was the strategy. When the storm gathered and the shadows whispered that you were forgotten, heaven was not absent. Heaven was building your defense. Michael says, child, what looked like rejection was redirection. What you thought was abandonment was positioning. You were never behind schedule, you were being hidden until the right moment, and that moment is now. You see, the weight you carried was never punishment, it was preparation. Every sleepless night, every unanswered question, every tear that soaked your pillow was shaping something unbreakable inside you. God says, you asked me to make you strong, so I allowed the fire to reveal your strength. You asked me for peace, so I allowed chaos to teach you calm. Beloved, your prayers were answered, just not in the way you expected. Do you feel that stirring within your chest? That trembling is not fear, it's recognition. Your spirit knows that heaven is near. The air around you feels charged because the atmosphere is shifting. The chains that bound your progress are snapping one by one. What was delayed is being released, what was hidden is being revealed. You are stepping into a chapter where divine speed will rewrite years of waiting. Michael says, "Tell them the time of crawling has ended, they will now soar." Child of destiny, I need you to listen carefully. There are people who walked away from you thinking they won. They celebrated your silence, they misread your stillness as defeat. But God says, I let them leave so you could rise without their weight. You cannot take everyone into the promise. Some were chapters, not the whole book. Some were lessons, not lifelong companions. The tables are turning, and those who mocked your patience will witness your acceleration. Heaven's order has been released, it's your time. The pain that once broke you will now become your platform. The voices that spoke against you will be silenced by your victory. The same doors that slammed in your face will open with divine ease. Michael declares, the scroll has been unsealed. The verdict of heaven has been written. This child will rise, and nothing, no curse, no scheme, no shadow can reverse that decree. Beloved, take this moment seriously. You have entered the 5 minutes that change everything. These are not ordinary moments, these are sacred seconds. The heavens are leaning close, and the angels are standing guard. God says, do not look backward, what's gone cannot define you. Look ahead, what's coming will astonish you. The battles that once terrified you are now beneath your feet. The mountain that stood before you is about to melt like wax under divine fire. Do you see how everything begins to make sense now? Why certain doors closed, why certain people vanished, why certain prayers seemed unanswered. It was never rejection, it was redirection toward destiny. Heaven did not forget you, heaven was reserving you. And now the reservation has expired, it's time for release. Child, the delay was divine. What others received early will not compare to the magnitude of what's arriving for you now. Michael says, the wind of change is blowing. Do not resist it. Let go of what you've outgrown. The old identity, the old fear, the old pain, they cannot enter this next realm. You are being promoted in the Spirit. You are being clothed with new authority. You are being marked as a carrier of light, one whose voice will echo with heaven's truth. The enemy is terrified of this transformation, that's why distraction increases. But do not look away now, this is the breaking point before your breakthrough. Beloved child, heaven remembers every seed you've sown in silence. Every kind act no one noticed. Every moment you chose forgiveness over bitterness. Those hidden seeds are sprouting now. The harvest is not coming, it's here. You will see favor in places that once rejected you. You will find peace in areas that once caused you pain. You will walk into rooms you never imagined entering, and heaven's favor will announce you before you speak. God says, tell my child I am rewriting their story. What was meant to harm will become holy. What was lost will return multiplied. What was broken will be rebuilt stronger than before. The enemy thought he could bury your purpose, but he forgot one truth, seeds only grow when buried. You are that seed. You are rising from the soil of hardship into the garden of destiny. Michael says, the final stretch requires focus. Stay under the covering. Keep your eyes fixed on the light. Do not scroll away. Do not doubt what you feel. Heaven has not finished speaking. The 5 minutes left are not a countdown to chaos, they are the countdown to clarity. By the time this word completes, the very thing that worried you will begin to wither. The attack that was meant for you will collapse before it reaches your doorstep. Beloved, this is not the end, this is your awakening. The page has turned, and your story is being rewritten in real time. Heaven's ink is permanent. No hand can erase what has been written in your favor. You will testify. You will smile again without pretending. You will walk with confidence, not because of who you are, but because of whose you are. The same God who brought you through will now lift you higher than you've ever been. Child of light, you were chosen for this hour. The storms you faced were the proof of your calling. The silence you endured was the seed of your strength. The shift you feel right now is not imagination, it is invitation. Step into it. Do not fear what's leaving, make room for what's coming. Heaven says, the wait is over. The rescue has arrived. If this word is reaching your heart, stay connected. Like, share, and let others feel the power of what you just felt, because this message is not meant to stop with you. It was sent to move through you, to awaken others who are moments away from their miracle. The countdown is almost complete. The new chapter begins now. Beloved child, can you feel the shift in the air? It is not coincidence. It is the moment heaven has orchestrated for your rise. The enemy may have prepared whispers of failure, shadows of despair, and storms of doubt, but all of that is breaking now. Michael says, tell my child the force sent to overwhelm them is already scattered. What they thought would crush them is being redirected to display their strength. Every heartbeat you feel, every shiver running down your spine is heaven signaling, get ready, for what you feared is dying, and what you hoped for is alive. Do not underestimate the weight of this hour. Every tear, every sleepless night, every anxious thought has been gathered by angels as fuel for your breakthrough. Michael says, even now, we are arranging the pieces of your life so that what was meant for ruin becomes the canvas for glory. The enemy thought you were weak, that you would falter at the first blow. But your survival, your endurance was the proof that you were chosen for greater. And now the time of reversal is upon you. The countdown is not a threat, it is a promise. My child, the air around you feels heavier because heaven is aligning armies unseen. You may not see them with your eyes, but your spirit senses the surge of protection. Michael says, every moment you linger in this message is another wall of fire built around you. Every word you absorb makes the light stronger than the darkness. You are standing at a threshold, a doorway between fear and faith, between loss and lift. And heaven is leaning closer, whispering that the hand that once preserved you in secret is now about to reveal itself openly. Do not ignore this, beloved. The voices of doubt may try to pull you away. The lies of the past may scream louder in your mind. But Michael declares, what man meant for harm God is turning for testimony. What was sent to destroy God is sending to display. The enemy wanted the news to overwhelm you, to shatter your confidence, but heaven's timing intercepts every blow. The sorrow you thought unavoidable is evaporating under the brightness of divine intervention. You are not walking alone, you never have been. Take a deep breath and feel it, the gentle tremor in your spirit, the rise of courage you thought had long left you. That is the living hand of God. Michael says, "Tell my child what they see as waiting is actually preparation. What they call delay is divine alignment. And what seems like silence is heaven's strategy in motion. Every setback you endured was temporary. Every heartbreak was a rehearsal for triumph. Every closed door was clearing the way for open skies. And now your moment is here. Beloved, 5 minutes left is not just a countdown, it is a call to awaken fully. The enemy has no idea what is unfolding. They assume that whispers, attacks, and shadows could hold you back. But they underestimated the light burning inside you, the unseen armies marching on your behalf, and the promise that cannot be broken. Michael says, "Tell my child this is why the Spirit is urgent, why the words burn with weight. The miracle is now racing toward them, and they must not look away." Your heart may feel heavy with anticipation. That is normal. It is the same weight Joseph felt when the dreams he barely understood were finally coming to life. It is the same weight Daniel felt when his faith carried him through the lion's den. And it is your weight now, the pull of destiny that cannot be ignored. Michael says, "Every shadow that came to stop them is already trembling. Every lie that attempted to deceive them is unraveling. And every tear that fell is becoming water for their harvest." Beloved child, this is your hour. Do not scroll past it. Do not say it is just words. The words are alive, they are moving. They are breathing protection, strategy, and elevation into your life. The enemy sent bad news to strike fear, but heaven sent this word to ignite faith. The storm intended to break you is now the stage on which your testimony will shine. You are not stepping into chaos, you are stepping into the blueprint of your deliverance. The angels surrounding you now, the sword of Michael gleaming in the unseen, every whisper of heaven in your spirit is shouting, "Hold on." Do not miss this moment. Your story is about to turn. 5 minutes left is not a countdown to despair, it is a countdown to lift. It is the moment where your survival meets your destiny. It is the threshold between sorrow and a new song rising from your life. Michael says, "Tell my child heaven has intercepted what was meant to harm. What they feared they will not feel. What was lost they will see restored. What was broken God is rebuilding stronger." Beloved, remain here. Let every word wrap around your spirit like fire. Let the truth of your worth, your protection, and your purpose sink deep. What seemed delayed is now accelerating. What seemed silenced is now shouting. And what seemed hopeless is now overflowing with hope. The enemy cannot predict your next step because your steps are guided, guarded, and glorified by God Himself. This is not imagination, this is rescue, this is revelation. Do you feel it? That stirring, that shaking, that sudden rise in your spirit. That is the future breaking through the present. That is heaven declaring, "Not today will my child fall, today they rise, covered, protected, chosen. Michael says, "Tell my child every second they linger is another wall built, another chain broken, another blessing released." 5 minutes left is not a warning, it is the birth of testimony. Stay, believe, absorb, for your miracle is closer than your fear. Child of light, the countdown continues. The tears, the trials, the betrayals, they are all transforming into evidence of divine preservation. The enemy plotted, but heaven overruled. The sword is drawn. The wall is built. The protection is active. And your miracle prepared long ago is rushing forward. Hold fast, for what comes next will not just shield you, it will lift you into a testimony the world cannot ignore.